SayItInACard.com is an online greeting card company that caters to every single occasion, and we deliver right to your front door. Visit us today, www.SayItInACard.com. If you feel it, we say it in a card. We have breakup cards, troubled relationship cards, friendship cards, sympathy cards, and of course all of the traditional cards as well, from birthday to holiday. So again, visit us at www.SayItInACard.com. Free shipping for a limited time.
Come on out. Come on out. Craig, come the fuck on out. You came through with this goddamn book. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't read no damn book in I don't know how long, but somehow Craig turned a ratchet bitch into a reader, bitch. Damn, my tongue real slippery. Bitch can't even talk, but bitch, I can read. Come on out. Anyway, by the time I got done with this damn book, bitch, I felt like I need to go sit on my back porch and smoke me a long cigarette while wearing an old nasty Caucasian damn witness protection wig, bitch. When I tell you he dropping 10 here, he talk about Tyler Perry, Brandy, bitch. Oh, girl, this book had my coochie on hard, had my coochie lips on blue, had me hot and moist like a KFC biscuit, bitch. Oh, Jesus, girl. By the time I got done, y'all, I felt like a boss, bitch. You made me want to go out and do things with my goddamn life, bitch. He talk about damn heartbreak, everything, girl. Come on out. I was on an emotional roller coaster, Craig. Come on out. Jesus.
My daughter turned me on to Craig. She said, well, Mom, I know you like to read, and I want you to try these books that this guy went to school with wrote. So I said, okay, I'll try anything. If it's documented. So she sent me the book. I read his first book in 24 hours. I could not put it down.
And it's 337 pages.
It was a page turner. It takes... and this is back to discernment. Everybody cannot weave a story. And he can weave a story. And not only can he weave a story, I always say, well, God first gives you a tap. And then he gives you a knock. And then he gives you a hit. And then he takes a 2x4 and knocks you upside your head when you don't learn the lesson.
Words Never Spoken is available on Amazon, Audible, and all e-readers. Visit www.CraigTheWriterStewart.com. Today I had the opportunity to interview an adult film star or porn star. And not because I'm fascinated with porn, because I've never been a person that's been interested in porn per se. Except for when I was a kid and, as a young boy, me and my friends used to watch old videos of like Vanessa Del Rio. Of course, we were underage. We had no business even watching it. Couldn't even tell you how we found out about that. But that's my only experience with pornography. But I was fascinated to interview Kept Secret, that's his stage name, because he is a gay man, but his subjects aren't just gay men. He primarily does videos or film with trans men. In other words, individuals that were born female, but they live their lives as men. So the goal for me was to kind of unearth some answers as to why a trans man would want to be penetrated by a man, especially when there are some lesbians who don't like to be stimulated in that way or penetrated in that way. And his goal was to dispel some misconceptions that we have about pornography, about the porn industry, including STDs, because he has said he's never contracted an STD through his work. Listen and enjoy. This is very personal work for me.
Politics.
I believe I was called to tell my story, use my voice, be a voice for the community, to speak to and for a community of people that's been ignored, denied, overlooked.
Religion.
This is my life's work.
Religion.
I want to use words to uplift, heal, inspire, encourage.
Do something different. Every Monday at 10.
You know you be going to the gym and things?
Yes, I got to keep this body together. 43 is coming quickly.
Is it? Okay.
May 4.
Okay, I'm about to be 30 November 17th.
I was going to ask you, I thought you were 28. Okay, but you're 29. So you'll be 30 in November?
I'll be 30 November.
All right, so I want to jump right into it. Do you consider yourself a porn star, an adult entertainer, adult film star? How do you classify it?
I classify as all of those. I don't know what the I guess the technical term would be, because I also create. So I guess I do produce my own porn. I edit my own porn. But I don't know what the correct terms would be, because
Right.
I just did it because I just wanted to do it.
How long have you been doing porn?
Well, I made videos back in 2012 as something that I somewhat wanted to do for fun, but I also wanted to make money from doing it.
Okay.
So
So you always knew that you wanted to do porn, or you just kind of figured I needed to figure out something that's fun and that I can make money from?
Neither one of those, really. It's just that one day it just popped into my head. Why not do porn? Because first of all, I was living in New York.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Albany, Georgia.
Okay. Oh,
So yeah,
the country.
3 hours south. I haven't been back home in 10 years, but we'll discuss that.
You have not been home in 10 years?
I don't like long drives,
How long is the drive from Atlanta?
like 3 hours or something like that.
And so all of your family is there?
Yeah,
And you haven't seen your family in 10 years?
that's what FaceTime is for.
You have not physically been home for like a holiday?
Well, my mom comes here.
So she comes here. Do you have siblings?
I have a brother that's like 30. Well, no, he's not 30.
I'm
He's
gonna
like
say-
5 years older than me, so he's like 34.
Okay.
He'll probably be
Where does he
35
live?
soon. He lives in Albany.
So you're not close to your family? I know your mom comes here, but are you close
Yeah,
to
well, I mean, I love my mother. We talk, but close. I'm not really close to anybody in my family. I mean, the closest person I am to any of my family members is probably my mom. But
So you probably then don't care what they think about whether or not you do porn?
no, I wouldn't care.
Because that was one of my questions I was
Yeah,
going to ask you.
but
what
first
did
of all,
you-
nobody's paying my bills. First of all.
Let's get into the conversation. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Today we are talking to Kept Secret. That's his name. That's his stage name, his professional name. Where did the name Kept Secret come from? How did you come up with that?
I don't know. Like I said, when I first started doing porn back in 2012, I didn't want to really be known.
So you've been doing porn for 7 years.
So off and on. Like I said, when I first started in 2012, I didn't really want to be known, so I had a do-rag on.
So how do you make
I don't
money?
even wear do-rags, first of all.
How do you make money if no one knows who you are?
But you have to, there's a lot of people that wear masks and things like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you wanted the porn to be popular, but you didn't want people to know that it was you.
Yes.
So you wore masks.
Well, I didn't wear a mask. I wore like a do-rag.
So you thought a do-rag was going to alter your...
Actually, I did. Actually, I did. When I looked into the mirror, I was like a totally different person. Like, oh, wait, who are you? Like
Really?
a totally different person.
I'm trying not to say your real name because you don't want your real name.
No.
Okay.
But Scott.
Okay, Scott. Okay, I can say Scott. Okay.
You can say Scott. So I was hoping
Which is
that-
not his real name.
I was hoping that a do-rag, below, above my eyebrows would kind of conceal who I. Well, people. First of all, people get in denial.
And 7 years ago, you would have been 22. So you probably would have. You probably would have thought. You probably would have thought that a do-rag
Well,
would
you
have
know how
altered.
people that be in porn sometimes be wearing the sunglasses, hoping it'll change who they are. And people want
Yeah.
So I was in that stage where I was hoping that people wouldn't know who I was if they saw me out in public.
Right.
And so that's somewhat where the name Kept Secret came from, because I was hoping it would be Kept Secret, but
Right.
it didn't.
So you started doing porn. So take me to the very first time that you did it. You knew that you were going to shoot it yourself, or had you tried to become a porn star with like Coco Dorms or one of them other places?
Well, I've never did industry porn. I
Okay.
never wanted to do industry porn. The porn thing, like I said, came out of nowhere. It was a thought in my head. Woke up one morning, I want to do porn.
And you just pulled out your iPhone and just started.
Well, no. First of all, when I have an ideal of something that I want to do, I go out and do it. So I had the idea, and I was like, well, that'd be interesting. I mean, porn stars are sexy. I think I'm a nice looking guy. I got a big thing.
You got a big what?
I got a big thing.
I don't know what that is.
I got a big wang.
What is that?
I got a big dick.
Okay,
Can we
because
cuss on-
this is so much to say. Yes,
Can we curse on-
black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Okay, so
Yeah,
you
shit is
figured.
definitely a cuss word.
Okay, so you figured you have a big dick.
I have a
So
big
you
dick.
figured, how big is your dick?
It's
Because I know there are people who want to know.
Well, people think that it's 12 and 13. They think that I'm picking it off the floor when I wake up in the morning. But it's 10 and a half. And I
Okay.
measure from not from the balls up if you're sitting down. I measure from the top
beginning
of
the shaft. From the beginning of the shaft to
but
the
some
head.
people measure their balls and all that kind of
Right,
stuff.
so you measure from the shaft up to the head.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's like 10 and a half length, and it's like 8 around. It's really thick.
The girth.
The girth, yeah.
So let me ask you, did you ever have problems before the porn? Did you ever have problems having sex? Because do you identify as gay, bisexual?
Gay.
Gay, okay. So did you ever have problems having sex with guys having such a big dick, quote unquote?
No, not really.
Okay. So you got it, you pulled out your camera, and you pulled out your dick.
There you go.
And so what, you called somebody you knew and said, hey, let's do a video?
No, I had an Adam for Adam account. I put on my Adam account that I was looking for guys, to have sex with on camera. And a few guys said, let's do it. I paid like $100.
So you didn't do like a release form like I did at the beginning?
No, I did.
You did?
I looked
Okay.
online, because I'm very business oriented.
So at 21, 22, you knew to do that?
Yes. Now, I didn't know that, when a do-rag wouldn't have my identity, but I did know that a contract was needed at all
He didn't have
times.
enough sense to know that a do-rag wasn't going to change his identity, but he did know to get a form.
At all times.
Okay.
So I printed something like straight offline. I don't know. I went to probably LegalZoom or something.
Right.
Printed out a contract.
Because you can find that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So I printed that out. Someone came over and we just started filming.
How many times did you film with that person?
I think once. I mean, everybody that I filmed with. Well, no, there was one guy that's short, really cute. He looks like white or Latino. He's actually Latino, but he looks kind of whitish, long hair, and that's one of my most popular videos from the 2012 era.
Okay.
And he's really short, tiny. I filmed with him 3 times.
So you still make money from those old videos?
No.
Why not?
Because when I created my site, people started downloading them from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I never made any money from that. I mean, well, that would be a lie. I probably made $10,000 in a whole year up until now.
Oh, okay.
And those videos are on my current site also.
Okay.
But I mean, people can watch them.
But you
online.
figured out along the way how to make money.
Yeah.
Residual money.
Yeah.
Royalties, if you will.
And like I was saying, though, I mean, it was it was like a random thought that just popped into my head. I didn't have any experience. I didn't do a lot of my due diligence online to find out what I needed to do to own a site. I didn't know there were sites that you can, or companies that you can call to make sure that your videos aren't on Pornhub. Like there's companies you can call and they'll make sure that it stays off of Pornhub. They have a contract with Pornhub.
Right, because Pornhub basically takes your stuff and then just makes it available for anybody to see.
Yeah, and a lot of people are downloading them and putting them on Pornhub. Right. So like I said, the first 2 days they did it. So I made a few dollars off of it. Well, a few $1,000s off of it. And I actually shut it down when it started to get on Pornhub. So it started like, oh my God.
So did anybody that you knew reach out to you and say, I saw you in this video with a do-rag on?
No.
Okay.
Nobody never.
So let me ask this, right? Because you thought you were like in some kind of disguise.
You trying to be funny.
So I'm thinking a coworker probably was like, I just saw you in this. So when the first guy came over that very first time, and you said, hey, I need you to sign this release form, did they say, what is this?
I'm trying to think. It's been so long.
Was anybody ever like put off by
apprehensive?
By that?
I don't think so. I mean, I think everybody pretty much looked at it and signed it. Because everybody that I had sex with were like 20 and
around your same age.
Yeah, they were young.
Right. So, explain to me about the whole Pornhub thing. So, obviously, Pornhub is its own entity, and they distribute a bunch of porn, right? So, how do you prevent them from getting your stuff and just releasing it? Because I imagine it would be kind of like LimeWire or Napster back in the day with music. Yeah. How like if I was Kanye West and I put my music out and you're Napster or your LimeWire and all of a sudden you putting my stuff out for free because people can just download and put it over there. Is that the same thing?
It's the same thing.
So how do you prevent that from happening?
Any user can grab any video and put it on Pornhub. Now Pornhub does have the copyright infringement laws and link on their site.
So if I took one of your porn and put it on a Pornhub as if I own it, then what happens?
I can submit a copyright infringement.
Okay, and then they'll
form.
Yeah,
and they'll review it and take it down. So they will take it down. I've had to do that quite a few times, especially like I said back in 2012 because I didn't want to know that I was doing porn.
Right,
I had to do that. I was being naive and I was hoping that people, nobody likes my porn that much. They'll watch it. They'll pay the little.
Well, you always kind of undersell yourself. You know what I mean? Because you just don't know.
They'll pay the little $10. They're going about their business.
$10 a month.
Well, I can't remember what my subscription was back then, but it probably was $10 a month. They'll pay the little $10 a month and keep on going.
What's your subscription now?
Now I have various amounts. It was when I first started my site. Well, not 2012, but I took it down. I think, like I don't know, maybe 2 months afterwards, or the week, the first week or something. I took my site down, and I recently reopened a site, not the same site. I had to redo all of my, the whole setup and everything. I put the site back up in 2000 and. What, 19, 18, I think it's 17. I think it's been
2 years.
It's been about 2 years. And I put my site back up. What was the question?
I was asking you about your subscription levels, and you said,
okay. So when I started this site back in 2017, one of my subscription amounts was $5 for a 24-hour period.
Okay. So somebody could go on and pay their $5 and they can have access for 24 hours. 24
hours, which usually, people just want to jack off. So they're going to look at a video, they're going to think it's really hot, hopefully, if I'm doing my job right. They're going to think it's really hot, they're going to come. And they may look at a few others, but they're going to know.
And let's not forget, there are women who like gay porn too.
True.
Go ahead.
Because I have had a woman that, oh my God, I just got secret. Like,
right.
So I was hoping, they may watch, another one, and another one, but they've already come, so they're gonna come back later. But at least they know that the majority of them or most of them are really hot,
and that could be lucrative because if let's just say I come on to your site, look, come on, I had to watch my work.
Yeah, first of all, I'm a little happy that you said that because I got yelled at by somebody about my price.
No, I really think that's smart, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because let's just say I don't want to commit to a 30 because you have like a month-long subscription too.
All porn companies do.
Right.
Like,
so let's just say I don't want. Right. So let's just say I don't really want to commit to a month-long thing, or for whatever reason. Maybe because I'm frugal. Maybe because I'm trying to manage myself and be like, no, I don't want to subscribe for a whole month, but I'll just do a day.
Yeah.
And so I go in there and I pay my $5. Inevitably, I'm probably going to come back if I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pay more than, let's just say your monthly subscription is $10. If I go on there 3 times in a month, you already made $15 off of me.
Yeah. And that's what my hope is because, like I said, the majority of porn sites out there, I say 98%, I think 100%, I haven't really seen a porn company that does not do monthly subscription porn. And they may have like a trial in the beginning, and then after that 7 days or 3 days or whatever the case may be, auto converts to a monthly membership. And my whole
so it would automatically,
not mine, not the 24 hours, but the other ones usually have a trial and then it automatically
converts if you don't cancel
for the $30 or whatever the case may be.
Right.
My hope was what you said. If you make good videos, people are going to want to watch it.
Right.
People don't like 30-day commitments. They're probably not going to watch it every day.
And they don't want to have to remember to cancel it.
They don't want to have to remember to cancel it, which most people don't. That's how porn companies make their money.
Yeah.
They don't want to be forced to watch mind you now.
Exactly.
Mind you, my videos are only me having sex with other people.
Right.
So you have to be
a fan of you.
A huge fan of me to want to watch my videos for 30 days.
So my thing is, I may feel like, well, for $5, I can go in and just watch as much as I want for right now.
And then go and watch.
And I know it's going to cancel in 24 hours for just $5, as opposed to me paying $30 and having to remember in 30 days to cancel.
And then go watch another porn site.
Exactly.
You can go watch all the other ones out there and come back. Because I know my stuff is good, so you're going to come back. I don't mind that. So that's what my thoughts were. But a friend of mine, yelled at me. And said,
our mutual friend?
Yes.
Okay.
You're worth more. Why are you caring about these other people's pockets? you need to worry about your pocket. You know, you're spending a lot of money, which I am spending a lot of money paying. I got to pay models. I got to pay for the location that we film.
Because you film at Airbnbs.
I film at Airbnbs. I film at some hotels. So, and I want to make sure that, and it doesn't really matter, I don't think, the background. I don't think the background really matters as much.
Right. You mean the scenery? The
scenery. When I was the do-rag kept, my scenery was a little bit more grungy, dark, a little bit more dank, dark, you know, a little bit. It was all of that.
Sleazy.
You know, I like the sleazy word. Okay. That's definitely what it was. But now that I'm more of myself in my videos, which is just a normal guy, but I mean, I do have a little classiness about me, I think.
So how long did it take before you started to take off the mask, if you will? But it wasn't really a mask; it was a do-rag.
2012.
When did you stop wearing the do-rag, though?
Well, I only wore it for the video.
Right, so, but you don't wear the do-rag in the videos now, right?
No, that was just back. Remember, I was trying to hide who I was.
Right, so you only did it for that year.
I did it for those videos.
Right, but when did you start making videos without?
Oh, when did I? Okay, well, I stopped making the 2012 videos. I mean, I made probably like 20 videos, I think, or 15 videos. And that was probably in the span of, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
So I wore it for those 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
But I didn't, throughout my life, wear the do-rag.
Right.
It was just for those videos. I was trying to disguise what I was.
So let me ask, what kind of work were you doing before? I mean, I know you got into it at like 2021.
Well, I was doing all types of stuff. I was doing real estate. I was working at, you know, various... not restaurants, but retail places.
And so you said you did porn for a while and then you'd stop, so then you'd go back into like a regular quote unquote job.
But not necessarily. I started doing a little bit of real estate here and there. I started like got a loan, put a loan on the property. One of my first properties, I think I bought a condo, which I still think about to this day.
And you got rid of it?
I feel really bad about.
What part of town was it in?
It was in downtown. It was on Marietta Street.
Over there
downtown.
by the aquarium.
By the aquarium. It was
the aquarium now. It wasn't then though. When you bought it.
Is there an aquarium there now?
The aquarium is there. It's the largest freshwater aquarium.
First of all, I've been in an aquarium once. I don't know why people pay to go look at fish.
Well, I mean, listen.
But hold on though. So it was on Marietta Street. It's the Metropolitan. That's the name of the.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So right there at 5 Points.
Yeah, it's like literally behind the train station. Is literally behind.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I had a place there, and it was like $50,000
at the time. And I'm sure it's worth hundreds of thousands now.
It's worth about 200-some thousand.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I didn't lose any money. When I sold it, I made like $40,000. Right. So it's not like I
So
lost
why not
money.
invest in property now? Because I'm sure you're making good money now because you drive around here in these luxury cars.
Yeah. Well, I've spent like $100,000 making these videos on this new site.
So let me ask this: do you write this stuff off on taxes? Because this is a business.
Yeah, of course. Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so if you're spending,
first of all, when people buy subscriptions, it goes to a credit card company, and then I get paid from that credit card company.
Right, they give
so
you
that credit card company is filing taxes.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, they take
they file taxes. So you got to record.
So I got to file taxes, or I'm be.
I got a 1099 from Cash App for last year. So trust me, I know. I didn't even know I had that kind of money had come through my Cash App. So
I didn't know Cash App did that.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's no money laundering going around in America.
They want their money, and PayPal's going to send you one as well if you work with PayPal.
Yeah, PayPal. Oh, talk about PayPal. PayPal has banned me for life.
Why did they ban you?
Because I had them on my porn site back in 2012.
So what, they have some sort of a integrity clause?
Yeah, they're a family-oriented business.
Oh.
So you can't put PayPal and porn anywhere in the same vicinity.
So if you hadn't called it that, how did they know that it was porn if you hadn't called it that? Like,
because somebody upset about a payment that they said they didn't get the access to the videos, and they called PayPal and said they want their money back, and they said, "Oh, okay, well, where's this?" Because you can create the little pay now buttons.
Yeah,
and PayPal don't know what the buttons are for. You know, if it's on a porn site, if it's on, I don't know, a shopping site.
Right. Well, they're shopping.
They're shopping.
They're shopping all right.
And trust me, that shipment is coming.
Really?
So they called. I didn't get my subscription, and I guess they looked at the site and said, "Oh shoot, this thing's supposed to be so." And they had taken, because PayPal back then didn't ask for many verifiers of who you are when you got a PayPal account.
Like identification. And all that kind of stuff.
So they had my name, and my phone number, and then so they canceled my account. Me being 21, 22, I'm thinking, oh shoot, but don't worry about it, I can just create another one.
Right.
So I created another one, used the same name, same phone number.
But now they want your social.
Well, I think they wanted my.
Text
They did want my. Well, no, they did want my social too. I'm trying to see if that was the second time that I created an account. They wanted my social. I can't remember. But they found out who I was, blocked that one, and then I can't remember if it was the second or third time. But they did want my social. I put the same name, same phone number. Canceled that one. And it's not until I put my social that I understood they're compiling my name and my phone number to find out if these accounts are linked to the same person. So at that point, when I called PayPal to ask what's going on, they said, well, you violated our terms and conditions and you can never get a PayPal. I was like, PayPal again, never in life. And PayPal rules right now. PayPal is... They own everything. They own eBay.
They're the leader in money transfer.
Yeah, so
around the world.
It really does hurt me a lot that I can't get a PayPal account.
Electronic money transfer, I should say.
Yeah.
So here's why I really wanted to. Let's rewind a bit. Here's why I really wanted to bring you on the show, because I'm sure there are people listening like, this is very different. Like, he's talking to a porn star. Because I don't want people to think that I'm encouraging porn. I'm not encouraging you to go out to do that. But the reason that I wanted to have you on was because I know you've done porn with gay men. Yeah. But is it safe to say that your primary niche is with trans men?
I want it to be.
You want it to be.
Now,
and let me just explain. Let me explain to the people that are listening, just in case they may not be aware of what a trans man is, because we're familiar with a trans woman, Janet Mock, Laverne Cox, people like that, Caitlyn Jenner. But in terms of a trans man, it's a female, born female, but lives her life as a man. And so in your videos, you've shown me like little clips on your phone of some of the trans men that you've had sex with in video, and they look like men until they pull their pants down, and you were literally, and just to put it in layman's terms, you're putting your dick in their pussy. And so I didn't know if you were bisexual, because technically that's not gay sex, because the trans man was technically born female, so that's not really gay sex.
Let me ask you a question then. What if I go and have surgery and make my into a pussy?
But she has a pussy. She doesn't have a dick down there.
Well, what makes female a female and a male these days? Or just in traditional terms?
In traditional terms, she has a vagina. Okay. So there has to be an attraction on some level for you for vagina. Because if she looked like a woman, would you be able to do it still?
I mean, no. I mean, I wouldn't be attracted. I mean, first of all, I'm a man. I can fuck anything. Madison says it all the time.
Now, see, I
couldn't fuck any. Look, I saw this one man.
I couldn't fuck anything. Is what I'm saying.
I saw this one man on Pornhub. He was fucking a pillow. That was interesting. On American Pie, the guy was fucking the pie.
Come back.
Feels good.
Come back.
I'm sorry.
But no, really. So, like, technically, it's not gay sex, even though he lives his life as a man. The trans man lives his life as a man. So, my fascination with that was, first of all, I think that that's it's a lane that's wide open, because I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But my fascination was, most trans men live their lives as men, and I didn't imagine that they would have wanted to be touched or inserted or penetrated.
A lot of them
right, because they are lesbians, aka studs, who live their lives as women, but
I'm not agreeing to this, by the way, y'all.
But they are lesbians. They are lesbians who are very virile, who are quite virile, quite masculine. Yeah. They don't want you to touch their vagina at all. So for me to think that, just conceptually, for me to think of a trans man who still wants to be penetrated, my question then becomes, and you probably don't even have the answer to this.
I may actually.
My question would be, why is she living her life as a man if she still wants to get fucked in her pussy? Like,
because people think.
I know it's mental. I know sexuality
it is mental. People, people think that because you feel like in your mind you are a male or a female and you're living in the wrong body, that
You don't get
everything-
stimulated.
No, they think that you can't, if you're a born female and now you're male, that you don't want to be stimulated down there. And that's
Right.
not, there's some, you call them heterosexual, transsexual, and gay transsexuals. Trans man that's getting fucked by me would be a gay transsexual because it's male on male.
Okay, you have completely lost me. Wait, what? Gay transsexual? What is that?
It's a gay transsexual is it would be a female to male that's now a male,
Right.
having sex with a man. That would be a
So because he
gay-
identifies, even though he was born woman, because
Yes.
he lives and identifies as man,
as a man.
it's
and
still
he
considered
looks like
gay.
a man. It's considered gay,
But it doesn't look like-
even though you're having sex in the pussy.
But it doesn't look like a man because he technically doesn't have a dick. He has a
Well,
pussy.
pussy does not define sexuality these days.
I get that.
Because
that.
like I said, again, a man can go and get, if it was, I don't know when they started, body transformations, but I'm just gonna throw out a number. If it was in 1940, then and the person, I guess, looked like a man, was having sex with a man, then I could understand you being confused at how it could be gay, because there's no men that could possibly do this. But being today, men can go and get a pussy if they wanted one, which makes it what makes sexuality, what makes a man a male and
limited
and a woman
to
a woman.
the organ.
Yes.
I
Because
get
we're
that.
no longer it's only mental now. We're no longer in an era where you being the same way with other transsexual women. You can't say they're a man because they have a pussy. You
Right.
wouldn't know they're a man unless they told you.
I get that. So
And with these trans guys, so a trans man that likes to get stimulated down there with a dick would be considered a gay trans
transsexual.
man. It would be a gay experience.
Okay.
And then you have to go because my mind is I forget everything.
Right. So why are you more stimulated by sex with a trans man as opposed to a gay man?
The fact that there's a pussy and there's an ass, because I do love ass. And again, I've just started fucking pussy or trans men.
Right.
Because I've never had sex with a woman.
Okay. A natural. Okay, got it. Because
You confused?
I am, because you see a trans
Craig
man.
wanted to say a natural.
Because a trans man is technically a naturally born woman.
Yeah.
Okay, but you've never had sex with a heterosexual identified woman.
Yes.
Cisgender heterosexual woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're a golden gay.
Possibly.
Okay. So so you had never been with a heterosexual woman before. So how recent was it that you started having sex with trans men?
It's been possibly, I want to say maybe a year.
Okay.
No, it had to be longer than that because I started my porn site. That's the reason, and that goes back to what you were asking me about the gay. My niche of my site was trans men. That's the reason why I started my site.
Okay.
Because I wanted to, because I had experience with a trans guy. He was very hot, hairy, buff.
Black guy,
No, he was white.
a white trans guy.
Buff, very sexy guy, and he wanted me to fuck him in the pussy, and I was like, okay, yeah. But I didn't know it was an actual pussy.
What you mean you didn't know it was an actual pussy?
I thought he was a guy.
Until
Because
you
he
got.
sent me pictures, and I was like, oh, this is a hot guy. He said, you want you to fuck me in
And
my
then when he
pussy.
showed
And
up-
I call all guys whole pussy.
And then when he showed up and took his clothes off, that's when you knew?
No, he explained it to me. He
Okay.
said, well, I do have a pussy. And I'm like, I understand that. But he said, no, I have a genetic
When he
pussy.
said I had a pussy, you thought he meant ass.
I thought he meant an asshole,
Right.
But an asshole that has been used a little bit and it has like a
'Cause
little
sometimes for
gape
those
in
that are
it, it
listening-
has like a little gape in it. It's called a pussy.
Sometimes, for those that are listening, some gay men, when they're having sex, they might say "fuck this pussy," or
this
they might
pussy,
say "let me
yeah.
get that pussy." Da da da.
Yeah.
Got it. Go ahead.
So he sent me pictures of his pussy, and I was like, oh, okay, no, I'm not interested. So I don't have sex with pussy, and I was kind of confused. 'cause
And
I
this was like a year ago.
It was actually 2 years ago. It was when before I started my site. So it was like 2 years ago. And I was like, I don't fuck pussy. And then I was, he was like, well, if you ever, want to hit me up. And then I said, okay.
Now, how'd you find him on?
It was probably on Adam Fathom. I think it was on Adam Fathom, maybe Grindr, but I feel like it was Adam Fathom. And so I hung up the phone and I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm confused because I had never heard of a trans guy.
How did he sound on the phone?
He sounded masculine.
Okay.
More masculine than me. My voice is a little higher. So I had never heard of. You hear about trans women all the time, but you never hear about trans guys.
Right.
And you definitely don't hear about trans guys who want to get fucked by a guy.
I have never heard of that. That's why it was so fascinating.
Yeah. So I was confused for a second, and I was like, well, why don't I want to fuck him? So I'm asking myself, well, why don't you want to fuck him? He's hot. It's because he got a pussy. And then I'm thinking, well, he's not a woman. So I said, okay, let me call him back. So I called him back and told him the same day. Like it was like within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I called him back and said, okay, I'll come over. He said, you sure? I said, yeah, I'll come over. So I went over there, I kissed him, I played with his, he said, you can fuck me in the ass if you want to first. And I did that. And he said, just, you could transfer when you want to. I transferred to the pussy. And
so are there condoms here?
No.
Okay, we'll get to that. Keep going.
So I transferred and okay, this is neat. And ever since then, I had an attraction to both hoes.
Okay.
And
so he had turned you out.
He turned me out. So I started looking online to see if I could find trans guys online. And I did find some. Well, first of all, everybody knows Buck Angel.
I've heard the name. I'm not a porn person. Like I've never.
Okay, Buck Angel.
And when I was a kid, my friends and I, my straight friends, my straight male friends, before I was trying to really be gay or identify or accept it, we used to watch porn. Young, dirty, nasty boys. But that was it. Like I've never been into porn as an adult. So as a kid, I used to watch Vanessa Del Rio, like all that kind. You know what Vanessa Del Rio is?
I don't.
Okay.
But I ain't want to, I ain't want to embarrass.
You need to step your pussy up though, because
is that what it is?
Right? Because see, Vanessa Del Rio is porn royalty.
I know who Chichi LaRue is.
Yeah, that's royalty too. Go ahead.
So I started looking online for trans men with cisgendered men. Okay. And I couldn't find any. Well, that's a lie. I found, let me go back to Buck Angel. First of all, Buck Angel doesn't fuck. He doesn't allow men to fuck him. Mm-hmm. He allowed trans women to fuck him. Mm-hmm. So it's still, I guess, to the visual mind, man, woman. Yeah. But anyways, so that's Buck Angel.
And I understand it because, pause right there, and I understand it because I remember many years ago I was doing my stage play, and the trans girl that was in the show had a boyfriend. And I will never forget, this had to have been 2002, and I'll never forget, he was the first guy that I'd had a conversation with who said to me, Craig, you're attractive, but I would never be interested in you. He said, because you look like a boy. He said, she looks like a woman. Yeah, she has the same thing we got down in her pants, but she she looks like a woman. And so that's my attraction. And I couldn't understand that then, because like I said, that was 2002. Yeah. But go ahead. So I understand the whole thing about Buck Angel. And even though he's getting fucked by a trans woman with her dick, in his mind, it's still a woman. Yeah. But he would never let a man fuck him.
Yeah, he doesn't get fucked.
Now, I don't know what he's done in his private life, but maybe not on camera. He's not letting a man fuck him.
Yeah, not on camera. So I was looking for the trans men with cisgender men. I couldn't. Well, again, I found some, but they were white on white. Okay. Now I like white guys, but I don't.
You wanted some black ones.
Yeah, I don't watch white on white porn. I would rather see interracial, if anything. And I couldn't find any. And I was like, damn. And I really, really wanted to watch this so I can jack my dick to interracial, trans men porn. I couldn't find it. So that was I was like, I need to make trans men porn. Trans men with cisgendered men porn. Like, that's the first thing that popped into my head. Like, I need to make this so people can see this. It wasn't even about money. I was just going to make a few videos, like 5 videos, just so it can be out there. Yeah. And I talked to my friend, which I do all the time, one of my best friends. If I have a problem or if I need advice, I call him. So I called him and told him, I said, I want to start a new porn site again to make porn, but I want to make it with trans men. And he was confused. I'd explained it to him. And he was like, well, why would you just make I understand you're not doing this for money and this is not your first thought is to make money, but you know that if we do something, we making money from it. So you better have that thought in your mind too. So I thought about it, and he said, well, you might want to do also gay men too. And so I said, okay,
So why did you trust your own instincts?
Well, and again, to me, it wasn't about money in the beginning. Right. It was just about, I wanted this porn to be out there. And I didn't want to spend it costs money to start a porn site and to do all these things. And I wanted to do only maybe like 5 videos and spend a little bit of money doing it. But if I'm going to do trans men and gay men, that's more money.
Right, because it opens up the market.
Yeah, so I really didn't want to, I didn't have any thought of spending as much money as I started spending. I had no idea I was going to, I've spent over $100,000 so far on my videos.
Really?
That wasn't something I had planned in the beginning.
So you started looking and researching, and what happened? What did you come up with?
Well, like I said, I couldn't find the trans men videos online, so I knew that I had something that people would... Well, I didn't know I had something that people would watch, but I knew I had something that is not already out there. So I started looking online. I started putting some of my old video. I created a Twitter. Started putting some of my old videos up from 2012, hoping that I can at least get a following. And then I started looking for trans guys, and I found my first trans guy, which is a very hot guy. We did our first video. It was hot. And from then on, I started getting messages from trans guys that wanted to be in videos. And here we are today.
So were you nervous the first time that you actually put the camera up? And I'm not talking about originally. I'm talking about when you started doing it with trans men. Were you nervous about putting the camera up and I guess like perception, like people's perception, or did you have concerns that what if 5 or 10 years from now I'm in a whole different industry?
Oh, no.
And this pops up. Because what happens if you want to be governor one day? You could never be governor?
I'm not going to be governor.
I always think that when I see, even when you're not talking about porn, like when I think about young folks who have themselves naked on social media, half naked or in their underwear, I'm like, how do you know you don't want to be mayor one day?
Well, it never, well, first of all...
That's the kind of shit they look up and they vet you.
Well, first of all, I would have to go to college before I try to become mayor, which I can do at the age of... I was only 22 when I first started doing videos, so I could have gone back to school and did all this kind of stuff to become something more professional. But I never wanted to work for anybody. And I'm horrible with deadlines. I'm horrible with taking orders from people. Taking direction from people. So I knew I didn't want to be... I didn't want to have
corporate
a boss.
America.
So whatever I did, I knew I wanted to make whatever I did.
Right. Some sort of an entrepreneur.
Some sort of something. I don't know.
So to this day, you still document all of your release forms? You have all your release forms? And
yes.
Have you ever been sued?
Never.
No one's ever reached out and said, I didn't give you permission to do that?
Well, one person, the little short guy I was telling you about, he was a little upset because he's a very passionate guy. A very passionate guy. And he says that everybody only looks for him. When they look at him, all they see is sex now because of our video.
Well, he didn't think about that when he first got it.
Now,
see, that's the point that I was making.
He was like 18, 19.
That's the point I was making for all of you young kids that are posting yourself on your underwear and your YouTube and Snapchat.
So he says that, it's hard for him to find a relationship, which I doubt that's true. I don't have any problem finding. Everybody want to be in a relationship with me. And of course, I'm sure they see porn too. I'm sure they see sex.
Because I don't think
so high.
Well, I know I could never be with a stripper or a porn star.
Why not? You want anybody to love, to crave your man?
No, it's not about them craving, because whoever I'm with, you're going to crave. Okay. They're going to be craving. But what I'm saying is, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how you separate the profession from the relationship. I don't know how
sex-wise?
Yes, and I don't know how you separate what is acceptable for me and where I have to understand that this is just a part of your work. I don't,
Well, I guess we can get into that conversation too.
Absolutely.
Again,
that's why I was taking my little notes right here.
Sex to me is a little different. If I don't want to get off subject from that, but let me just say this quick little statement here, though. If sex to me is different, I can have sex and not fall in love with somebody. I can have sex and sex doesn't mean, and I don't think it's because of porn, but sex doesn't mean I think the same.
It's not an intimacy thing for you.
Not necessarily.
It's not a connection.
It's not a huge connection. I don't want to say it's not a connection. It's not a huge connection.
It's not an emotional connection.
No, I mean, it's because I want to get rid of that stuff downstairs, that white stuff that's coming out. Sex is only to release that.
But my thing is, for me, in the context of a relationship, and I'm not at all trying to pretend like I've never had casual sex, because I have. I've written quite extensively about it in my first 2 books. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, for me, there came a time where it became exhausting just to have sex. Mm-hmm. And for me, in the context of a relationship, sex is the one thing that you and I should have together alone.
Okay.
Not to say that you are a virgin when you come to me or when I come to you, but while we're together, that's the only thing that we should have together, because I share your time with your family, I share your time with your friends, you know what I'm saying? But that's the one thing.
Well, there is a connection when you love each other and you're having sex. It's like you're putting yourself into someone else. Y'all are together, y'all are connected. Mm-hmm. So there is something there with someone you love and you're having sex. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side of that, sex still sex.
So you don't think that you could become attached to someone through sex? Like, say for instance, you were in a relationship with someone.
Well, no. Let me say this though. No, and the reason I say no is, I say yes and no. When I'm horny, you got a big booty, I'm attached to you. I may call you 19 times because I want that booty. But when that white stuff is gone, then life.
Have you ever been in love?
Any man. Well, first of all, we done got off.
That's fine. This is so much to say. They keeping up.
And I forgot what
I'll bring us back.
I haven't been in love yet.
I can tell.
But see, I hate when people say that they can tell.
I could. Your answers would be different. Had you
think so?
Yes. Had you experienced the fullness, the full bounty of love, your answers would be different.
Because I do have a thought of a relationship and thoughts of how that would go and what that would look like.
What? Tell me.
Well, especially as far as this sex conversation goes, I wouldn't mind having threesomes every now and then with my partner.
See, that's another thing I'm not doing.
I wouldn't mind that, because again, in my mind, even though I think a lot of relationships go sour because of cheating, and it's not cheating because you don't love the person. You love the person, but every now and then, sex gets a little boring. Not gets a little boring in the sense of I'm tired of having sex with you, but just in the fact
variety and excitement.
Maybe I want to feel a little bit bigger of a booty today, or maybe I want to hear a different moan.
But
today.
Here's what I know to be true about relationships and love. It's a choice. Monogamy is a choice. It's a decision. It requires discipline.
And I think a lot of discipline. But
I would also insert in there that it's not something that everybody can do.
That's true.
I don't think that everybody is made of that stuff, that fabric.
That's true.
Those fibers to be monogamous. And so I think the key to a relationship is finding someone who has that ability, who wants what you want. And I think oftentimes we try to make people who are not monogamous people.
Very difficult.
No, I think that whatever you're looking for is also looking for you. I believe
I agree with that. But again, it's human nature to want something different every now and again.
I get that. Because, there's 7 billion people in the world.
And so by having a threesome every now and again, I think you're doing it together, for one. It ends like that, and you're back to being together. And
see, I don't think it's that cut and dry.
What about once every three months?
I don't think it's that cut and dry.
4 times a year.
Because see, I believe that whenever 2 people lay down and have sex, one of those 2 people always gets up with feelings. Now, you may be the person that can get up and maybe you aren't. But whenever 2 people lay down and have sex, one person always feels a little bit more attached to it than the other.
But why don't you do different people?
And then the thing is, you always want to kind of come back to it. In every situation where I've talked to people, who have been in threesomes or relationships with threesomes, they always move away. They always deviate from the original agreement, which was we only gonna play together. We only gonna do this together, and we both have to agree that we're gonna use this person. Whoever we have a threesome with, we both have to have an attraction for them. But there's always one in the relationship that wants to sneak his ass or her ass back over there.
Is that what they do?
When you at work or when you out of town.
Well, then that goes back to that person don't have discipline.
Well, correct.
That's what that goes back to. I have discipline.
So did I hear you say to me one time before about relationships that you would prefer to be in a relationship with a trans man?
I would love to be in a relationship with a trans guy.
As opposed to a gay
I just
guy.
think they're hot. Sexually, I think they're hot. I mean, I think that, like I said, you have two options as far as sex. You have the asshole and the pussy, and they're two different feeling holes. And I like them both. So sexually, the look and everything is
I was just gonna
hot
say,
me.
explain to the people why wouldn't you just be with a woman? But you just said it because of the look. Because a woman doesn't have that look.
Yeah, if I was okay with a woman, I'd be with a woman.
Right.
And so, and that goes to another thing, because my friend and I was having this conversation, and he was saying he liked the way a trans woman looked.
Okay.
And so I'm like, well, you're bisexual. He said, I'm not bisexual. I'm gay. I'm like, if you like the way a trans woman, if you like the look of a woman, then you like women.
No, because it goes back to what I was saying to you a moment ago.
So the pussy defines whether or not, why wouldn't somebody, a pussy is just a hole.
Right, but it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the guy who dated the trans girl that was in my play. He would have never been attracted to a boy, or somebody who looked like a boy. Even though she had boy parts down here.
Well, but that's different though. But my friend, he's a man,
Gay man.
yes, cisgendered male that likes the look of this trans woman.
Yes.
Not trans man, but trans woman.
Correct.
The look of a woman, makeup and everything.
Right.
If you like this look, why wouldn't you like a woman? And
What was his answer?
I'm trying to remember. Oh Lord, my mind bad.
Oh,
I can't remember
God.
his answer. So I guess this is not a good conversation.
No. Well, I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember.
I really don't have the answer to that because again, that's not my walk.
I'm trying to think now. Oh Lord,
That's not my walk. But I mean, you don't have to remember. Let me ask you
I
this:
can't
have you
remember.
been in a relationship before?
I haven't. I've always been focused on work. I mean, I just haven't.
Okay, so let's go back to the conversation about your family. So you said that you're not close to your family. You and your mom have a relationship, but you're not really close to her.
Well, don't say it like that. I'm really close to my wife.
You are really close to her?
Well, you may watch this. No, I'm close to my mother.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not a close family.
Okay.
We never, and the reason I think it is because we didn't have the family table. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people probably don't have the family table, and they're still close. But we didn't have the family table. And the family table is where you all sit around the table, you talk to each other, you gain that love for each other. And we never did that. My mother, I would eat,
You might grab your food
and we
and
all
sit.
have to eat. And so
Yeah.
that's why the family table is so important, because we all have to eat. So that's one thing that's going to bring us together every day.
But if everybody's eting at different times or sitting in the living room eating and
When do you connect?
Right.
We never connected. My mother and I, obviously, I was, when I'm younger, whatever the case, I would go with her everywhere, do this with her, do that with her. But other than that, I mean,
And what about your dad? Where is he?
he lives in Albany, Georgia. They're separated,
Okay.
not divorced.
Do they know that you do porn?
I have no idea.
So they've never said to you, Scott, what do you
Well,
do
first
for a
of all,
living?
my mom don't talk about sex with me.
No. They've never said, Scott, how do you make your money? How do you live? Where do you work?
But she don't ask me those type of questions because my mom is a different
What kind of house do
person.
you live in or place do you live in? Because I know you have these luxury cars.
Currently,
Yes.
I have a 4,000 square foot home.
So do they ask you, like, how do you live like this? They've never asked that.
But she has.
And what do you say?
I work, and that's that. My mom is not. My mom don't like arguments.
She think her son is a drug dealer. Go ahead.
Probably so. She don't like arguments.
She may know.
I think she do know, but she would never confront me with her to ask me that. She would never. like I said, she don't like arguments. She's shy. She just wouldn't ask me that.
So a moment ago,
So
you
I
said
wouldn't know. I probably won't know until she's in her grave. If she writes a letter and say, "I knew you do," that, she just wouldn't ask me that.
So a moment ago, I had asked you when you had sex with that first trans man, the white trans man, if you used protection, and you said no.
Well, I prefer raw sex.
Do you ever use protection? Excuse me, in your videos?
No, not really.
So you guys do these? Well, not guys, but you have these.
What do you mean? I only have guys on my site.
Correct, but that wasn't. I misspoke. What I was trying to say was, I meant your business. In your business, I know you do your release forms, but do you do some sort of a HIV screening or STD screening or something like that, or you just take a person's
I do
word?
have guys that bring paperwork and stuff like that to make sure everybody's safe.
Now,
But
you know-
I'm unprepped, and I go do my screenings it's supposed to be every 3 months. I go, I don't know, almost every 2 months or so, just to make sure.
So wait. So you said folks usually come with their paperwork.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say to that is, I have heard stories of the kids making up fake negative paperwork.
And that's possible. Again, you got to protect yourself. This is sex.
Right.
There's a huge genre for raw porn.
So if you contract any STD, not just HIV, any STD, would you feel some kind of way, or would you feel like that was your responsibility?
It's your responsibility. And even in my contracts, I even speak about that in my paperwork.
What does it say?
You know, I think it's. I'm trying to think. We are both adults or something like that, and you know, you don't know my status at this time. I don't know your status at this time of any sexual something. I don't know what I put.
Got it.
I don't know your status. You don't know my status at this time, at the time of filming, and you take full responsibility of whatever. I don't know, something like that happens. Or
I got
something like that. And the reason I put that in there is because you can literally catch HIV or any other sexual. It's not called disease. Infection.
STI, sexually transmitted infection.
You can catch that tomorrow. Now it takes time to grow,
Replicate in the body.
But you can catch that tomorrow and it not show up in your paperwork that you did 2-3 months ago.
Right.
So again, it is a business where you can, and I want to talk about that relationship with being a porn star and having a relationship, because that goes towards hand in hand in what you were talking about earlier. But you can catch something.
Have you ever had an STD?
I have had one.
But was it through your work?
No, and that's the thing. I've done all these videos and haven't been through work, but I think I have had one. But that was young. I don't know. It was probably like 19 or something. You can catch something.
I know they gagging, thinking, "Oh my God, did he just ask him if he had an STD?" Yes, this is so much to say.
You can catch something and not know it the day of filming because the paperwork is 2 months old, or even if you were to get it that same day, it probably would.
It takes time for
It takes time for it to grow.
Right.
So
we're not just talking about HIV. That could be gonorrhea.
Yeah.
That could be chlamydia. Whatever.
Yeah.
It takes.
And people
time.
think you can't catch an infection of the mouth. You can catch an infection by kissing.
Now, have you ever seen like somebody with like a herpes, with herpes
Like
in
a
their
cold-
mouth?
like a cold
That's
sore
a herpes. Or have you ever seen somebody with the little cauliflower, which is what's the cauliflower? It's a genital wart. Have you ever seen anything on somebody and you're like, oh, I ain't gonna be able to do this? No.
I haven't really seen.
So you've never had any of the trans men say to you, I'm not really sure about this raw sex.
I have had some that I want to do a video with, maybe like one or two that no, I'm not really sure about raw sex. But other
They
than
want to
that,
they want to use condoms.
They want to use condoms. But my site again is raw only.
So-
and in this business, you have to understand you're fucking raw. Anything necessarily is possible.
Question. So you're having sex with trans men who are men, but they have vaginas. You've never had a scare where maybe one of them came up pregnant? I know you probably about to say you pull out and all that, but that's not always 100%.
Well, first of all, I didn't say that because I don't pull out.
So you've never had an instance where they've become pregnant or something?
No, because first
Or
of all,
you
I
haven't
think
worried about that?
a little bit, but not necessarily, because when you take testosterone, it kind of slows down those organs and functions.
Here you go playing with science again. Go ahead.
Hopefully they taking it. But, and then, you also can go for many other seizures. You can get procedures, not seizures, procedures. You can get your tubes tied, all that type of stuff. So there's multiple things you can do. Now, are they doing it?
Are you even asking any of that? I'll take that as a no. So if somebody came back, a trans woman came back and said, Scott, a bitch is pregnant. Would you want him to have it?
Depends on, I guess, depending on how he looks. But no, because I don't want to have I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to have a child. I think I'm too selfish right now. I want to enjoy my money. I can't imagine.
It's interesting to me. You know what's interesting to me?
What's that?
And this is just human nature. This is not a judgment at all. This is just human nature. Because I do things like this in my own life, and I don't have a specific example of what I'm talking about. But in some areas of my life, I'm so cross my T's, dot my I's. But then in other areas, I'm so cavalier and laissez-faire. But with that being said, it's like you take such precaution with your paperwork and your documentation, but you don't add, not even just the STD part, but even in the instance, because you're having sex with trans men and you're coming inside of these trans men, and you never have thought about whether or not they're on some sort of a birth control or whether or not they could end up pregnant.
That's true. I don't have an answer for that.
That is so fascinating to me.
It doesn't really cross my mind much. I guess because I'm so into the idea of man.
Right. That you're not even thinking about the possibility of reproduction.
I don't really think about that portion.
Right. So what did you
really do believe they're men.
Right. But that body, them ovaries down there working, okay?
Hopefully not. But if they working, then
What did you want to say about dating and love and the profession that you're in?
I do think, because you were asking me, you were saying you couldn't be in a relationship with a porn star, and
or a stripper.
Or a stripper.
I dated a stripper for a little summer. This is back in 2012.
And this, what I'm about to say, kind of go hand in hand with what you're saying, because, and I was trying to start a relationship with somebody, or kind of, somewhat, maybe talking about it, because he was a cute guy. I liked a little bit of his mind, so.
How long ago was this?
Maybe 6 months ago or something.
Okay.
But it is kind of difficult having a conversation about, because I do fuck raw, having that raw conversation and the conversation of, well, I kind of like you, I may want you to be my boyfriend, because then they start asking, which I don't like answering these questions. I may only answer a few if you give me follow-up questions.
What kind of questions?
Well, what if you catch something and you have a boyfriend?
That's a legitimate question.
No, it is, and I don't have the answer for it. I mean, I don't know what to say to that, because it could happen.
Right.
People want the fairy tale. Oh, it can never happen. I would never give you anything. Well, I wouldn't try to give you anything, but again, I am fucking raw. I do fuck a lot of people. Men, my porn site is me fucking people, and I have to put up at least 4 updates a week. Not
4 new videos. 4 new videos.
4 new videos.
That's the guarantee that you have on your site that they're going to get.
Well, actually, I have 2 to 4.
Okay.
Sometimes I'd be in bed, I'd be relaxing, So at least 2 to 4, but I try to put up at least 4 a month. So
just to keep the content fresh.
Just to keep the content fresh and the site fresh. But it is a possibility that I could come home with something. How do you have that conversation with somebody? Because
then the question becomes, should you have protected sex in your relationship since you having raw sex?
And that's definitely not happening.
I know.
No. That's definitely not happening.
So you've never been in a relationship. You've never been in love. So do you think that when you cross that road or that bridge, do you think that you'll have to maybe modify some things?
I'm hoping not.
Do you think maybe you'd be better suited for somebody who is in your similar profession?
I don't think so. And it's not because I don't want... I wouldn't mind having somebody in porn. Because the way I see porn, I think it's sexy. I think it's hot if you...
I wonder if you would think that, though, once you're emotionally attached to somebody. Like, once you're in love, would you be okay with whoever you're with having sex with somebody all on camera, getting banged out?
I think so. To me, that... See, I like a slut. To me, that's hot. You're like, damn. Now, he finna come home now. After that, I'm fucking you. It's the way that I would see it in my head.
Well, he ain't gonna want to get fucked after he just came off a set.
He's not, and that's another thing about relationships too, because
What?
I'm kind of somewhat going through that part where I have to put up 4 updates, 4 videos a month, and so that means before I have the video, I got to prepare myself at least for a day or two to kind of just give my body a rest so that I can be ready for the video.
And that can impact your relationship.
Can impact my relationship because I can't have sex.
So how do you
4 times a week with my partner because I got to also have video. And sometimes I do two videos in a week because I like to have an archive of videos.
So you can just upload them just in case you don't have time to
so that goes back to it being a little complicated when it does come to a relationship.
So how do you prepare? Have you ever just gotten to
when I say prepare, I mean
just give yourself time to...
Yeah, because people I shoot big loads and stuff like that, and people like to see that. And if you just had sex the other day and
it's not going to
be... whether my dick going to be hard, am I shooting a big load or not? I mean...
Have you ever gotten to one of your locations where you're going to do your video, whether it's a hotel or Airbnb? I'm going to really think about Airbnbs differently moving forward.
Okay, I was like, I hope I don't get sued by the Airbnbs because, people are like, oh my God, I saw this.
Well, I mean, they would never know if you were renting it for that purpose.
The Airbnb person wouldn't, but I'm thinking about the customer that's trying to rent the place. I was just talking to my friend about this yesterday. I hope I don't get sued because what if one of the people who are trying to rent the Airbnb like, I saw this on a porn video and they were coming everywhere and there was booty. The couch was wet with juice falling out the guy's booty. I don't really know if I want to rent your property anymore. And then that's going to go back to, well, who was that? Well, my name is on the Airbnb, my picture's on the Airbnb, and I'm the one in the video. Now, mind you, let me say this really quickly. A lot of porn companies rent Airbnb.
Absolutely.
But because they're not in the video, they won't know the person who owns the Airbnb
wouldn't know who to reach out to.
Who to reach out to. They would know if it was me or not.
Have you ever gotten to a set of an Airbnb or a hotel and just wasn't attracted to the person, or you just weren't horny? Did you just have to say, we'll have to do this another time?
Craig, I just told you I could fuck a pillow.
So you've never had that instance?
No.
You've never had an instance where
everybody on my site I would really fuck on a regular basis. I think they're really hot guys.
So have you ever had an instance where you've looked back at footage after you've recorded it and you're editing it? Have you ever looked back and said, this ain't really that hot, I'm not going to use this?
I have, but it's not because of the other guy. It may be because of the angles. It may be because of the way that I look, whether my dick didn't like it was hard enough, or because it could be various reasons. Whether my hair was all in my face, you couldn't really see my face.
So what do you do with that footage?
Right now, I'm just holding on to it. My friends put out everything, and I'm like, I'm not putting out bad footage or something that I don't think is hot. I don't want to put out. Because there's a video that I did with a trans guy. I'm very upset about it, but we started a video. There were some complications, and
what kind of complications?
Dick wasn't getting hard.
Well, that's what I just asked you a moment ago, and you said, Craig, I just told you I could fuck a pillow.
Well, I can't fuck a pillow. It's not because
why wasn't your dick getting hard?
It wasn't because of him. It's just your dick. Sometimes your dick just doesn't.
Well, that's what I was just asking you a moment ago.
Well, I thought you meant, is it because of the person? Because you asked.
No, I just meant for any reason.
Okay,
did you ever just get there and you were just like, this ain't gonna work today?
Well, that happens, yes, and it happened that day. My dick just didn't want to get hard. So,
are you having an influx of people that are reaching out to you saying, "Hey, I want to be in your video"?
I don't actually.
Okay.
I mean, I get bottoms, a few bottoms, but I'd love to get tops. I'm not getting any tops hitting me up because I guess I'm top.
So do they, how do you find these people? You just go on Adam for Adam or somewhere like that and find these people?
Well, they hit me up on Jack. They hit me up on Twitter, but Twitter's where most of the porn.
Yeah, because Twitter is the new Tumblr.
Well, it's been Tumblr though.
Correct.
It's been where all the porn stars were. That's when I first started my site. That's where I got my people from. But I'm forgetful. Let me not forget this real quick. So I was doing a video with the trans guy. Complications were happening. Opinions didn't want to get hard, and so we were supposed to film later on that day after my body rested or whatever. But he didn't show back up.
He probably was embarrassed, or felt like you were not attracted to him or something.
But so because of that, I'm like, I do have that footage because you were asking me, is there some footage that I'm gonna put out and not put out? And I still do have the footage where I ate him out. We fucked a little bit, and And I was telling my friend, I'm not putting this out. He was like, well, put it out, put it as a trailer. I said, why would you put out something that's not good material?
So how much do you pay these models? Are they called models?
Too much information. Everybody gets paid differently.
Oh, okay. What's the max you've paid somebody?
Too much information. Because then somebody gonna say, oh, well, I heard you paid, your max was.
So how do you determine who gonna get $100 and who gonna get $500? And I'm just throwing out random numbers, but
I mean, well,
is it based on how much you want to fuck them, or what? Or is it their experience, or they got to come in with a resume and be like, okay, well, I've been in.
Well, not even that, because I try to pay everybody the same. But it depends on how much I really need them. Like trans men, I have opted to pay them sometimes a little bit more because, again, that's what my site is about.
Right.
That's what I want my site to be about, is focus on trans men. Exposing them, showing people how hot and sexy they are and the sex between them are, because I don't see it and I want to give them their credit.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely due. They're hot people. So I may pay them a little bit more if I have to, but I try to pay everybody the same.
So you eat off of this. This is what you do full time now.
Currently, yes. Like when when I bought my first property, sold it, bought other properties, and the reason I sold it is because I was trying to buy other properties. And I ended up buying 3 properties. And this was back when economy was bad, prices were low, foreclosures was happening all over the place. So I bought 3 properties and I was renting those out and et cetera. So I was making money from that, living off of the rent and everything from that.
Do you still have those properties?
I recently sold them.
Okay.
Back in, I don't know, it was 2019. 2017, I think maybe back in 2016, 17. So around the time when I first started my site.
Right.
And I had an influx of money in my account. And so that's what helped me start my site.
So is this profitable for you now?
Yeah. It's doing okay.
What's okay?
It's okay, Craig.
Give me a ballpark.
I can't give you no ballpark, and then people gonna be like, well, I heard you made so-and-so on your porn. I won't.
Is it 6 figures that you're making?
I can't give you no ballpark, Craig. I'm doing okay. I mean, it's affording. It's helping me to afford my lifestyle.
So, do you have some other income? Because you don't have any property now. You just have the porn, right?
Craig getting asking too many.
No, I'm just asking.
I don't want to do that interview.
So is this the only income that you have? You're living completely off of this?
I do have money in my bank account as well.
From when you did,
from my properties and stuff like that, and my investments.
But the only
income that's coming in, yes. But I do have other monies, so I'm not saying that it's affording my lifestyle completely.
Got it.
I'm not saying it's not either.
Okay.
I ain't saying it is. Because my issue is going to be when people are going to start saying, "Well, if you making all this money, you can pay me more." It's not about that. You know, I'm the one who put the $100 grand down.
The overhead.
I'm the one that put the $100 down to start this site and to keep the site running and make it what it is. You don't get half of what I make in my videos.
So, how long do you foresee yourself doing this? Do you think that this is your lifetime career?
No, I'm thinking maybe like for another year or 2. I really want to get like 200 videos on my site. And
then you'll just live off the residuals.
I currently live off of the residuals, but I also want to go back into real estate. But like I said, I've spent so much money on this site that I can't necessarily buy a property today or buy a property tomorrow. Right. And first of all, the property went up.
Yeah.
Things are expensive right now.
Right.
So I want to go back into real estate, but my issue with me is I want to make sure that, again, I'm not always going to want to work. You know, I'm not always going to want to be filming on camera so often. And again, I am thinking about having a boyfriend and things like that, so I can't film on camera as often. So I'm hoping that I can build up a residual of videos and kind of just release those. But I kind of so I do have like 8 videos in my archive that I built up, and I'm filming. Actually, I got to film today. What time is it? I'm filming today.
Don't let us hold you up.
So, you know, I want to try to film as many videos as I can, and then, but I do want to get out of it. I'm thinking
and just stagger them and just
stagger them out. So I'm hoping 200. So I'm
How
trying
many
to
do you
film
have
as
now?
much as possible. 8. Well,
No, in total,
In
yeah.
total, I think maybe 90,
Okay.
but that's not including those 8.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe 200 videos, and I can. Oh, that's the reason I'm thinking. That's the reason I was talking about the going over the archive of videos again. I'm filming. So the money that's coming straight from my site is going to bills and filming.
Right.
Mostly to filming.
Right.
And the reason that is, it could be going to bills and to build up my savings, which is what it needs to be doing. But I spend so much money filming because I want to have a huge archive of videos. Someday, hopefully soon, maybe in a month or two, I'm going to focus on not filming anymore, at least for three months, and start building up my savings account again.
Okay.
And then put those videos out that I've already filmed.
Okay. Because the overhead is basically you renting spaces, paying the models, or paying the
models, paying my camera guy. I got to pay myself because, I live off of this money.
Yeah.
So I got to pay myself. And with all of that being said, it's a good deal of money. Like Airbnbs are like $200. Again, it goes back to me saying, when my older career back in 2012, I didn't mind it looking sleazy. Nowadays, I want it to look grand. I want it to look nice.
Right.
I want to be in a high-rise condo.
A cleaner look.
Big windows, overseeing, the city or whatever the case may be. Now my videos are, the locations are nice.
Now, what would you say to someone who's younger, who's looking at or considering getting into pornography, becoming a porn star, a young boy, young girl, no matter sexuality, young male, young female, that's thinking about porn?
Well, first of all, I would ask them, do you want to live off of this money forever? If you do, then you would want to start your own site. I would also ask them, before you start doing porn, ask yourself, do you want to work for somebody or do you want to do it yourself? Do you want to live off this money forever? Because if you do, then don't do industry porn.
But are there any...
Go ahead. I've never done industry porn because I knew that, first of all, I didn't want nobody to know who I was. That's what I was...
Explain industry porn for the people.
Industry porn is the big names that's currently out here. It's...
Where they own all of the content.
They own the content.
Yeah.
Sometimes they own your name. They own the content, and you get a one-time payment.
There's no residual every time somebody clicks on the video.
Yeah. So my thing would be, and there's a lot of porn stars back in the day that did industry porn, and now they're trying to start their own site. They've done
It's like your content is already out there.
50-some videos for this industry porn, these companies, and now they're trying to start their own website. I'm like, well, no one's going to watch.
No one's going to pay to see that now.
No one's going to pay to watch just you when they can watch you and 19 other guys on this other site. So I would tell that person, do you want to live off this money? Or do you just want to do it because it's fun? Like back in my 2012 days, I'm pulling the do-rag.
I see.
You see me doing that. Back in my 2012 days, I didn't think that I was going to be living off of this. I just did it for fun. But I also don't like work for people and take direction. And that goes for porn and anything else. So that's the reason why I did it myself.
But are there any cautionary tales for those young folks? Like
well, I guess
things like, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because this is going to follow you forever.
Well, I guess if you're like that little kid, that I first did my videos with back in 2012, that is the very passionate guy, and now everybody's hitting you up about what that booty do. Then you may not want to do porn because people are, when they see you, they're going to think sex first.
Yeah.
They're not going to think, I want to fall in love with this guy. They may be thinking that too, but that's going to be an afterthought. They're going to be thinking, I want to fuck that booty because I saw you taking big dick. I got a big dick. You small and short. I kept secret dick going all the way up your back when he had the camera. So they're going to think about sex first. So that's one cautionary tale, just to make sure that you're okay with people
and just
thinking about you as sex.
And just people's perception of you in general. The way that people probably would talk about you or your family.
That's true. And people will say, I've had people say on videos and stuff, that person like he got something. That person like he got something. Now what that look like, I don't know. But people are going to say things because you're fucking wrong. So people are going to say whatever comes to their mind that's hateful. So you also have to think about that. You have to be a strong person.
Yeah.
People are going to call you ugly. People are going to call you fat. Now, I don't think I was ever fat. first set of videos, I was really skinny. And when I came back out, I had a little stomach, a little pudge. People called me fat. They called me all types of names. So people are going to talk about you.
Did that stuff bother you? Did it sting
skin.
at first?
No.
It didn't bother you?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really care about what people think, but at the same time, I don't want to be called fat.
Right.
Well, I don't want to be called names, period. But at the same time, it's not like I'm sitting in my room and cry or that person means something. But they did get blocked. Now, you can't make statements around me and not get blocked. Now, they got blocked, but it didn't hurt me.
So what?
I just don't like negative comments in anything that I do. I just don't like them. I just think negative comments are unnecessary.
So the video that you're shooting today, is this with a trans man or a gay man?
No, it's a cisgender man.
Okay. Explain to them cisgender.
Cisgender is genetically born male. And cisgender woman is genetically, born woman still.
Right. So this video that you shoot today, what's the editing process like, and when would this particular video be available?
You never know.
Okay, so it just depends on when you get to it.
Well, not that. I mean, I film it, and then I edit it, and when it's coming out, you never know. Because like I said, I do have 8 videos I haven't put out.
Right.
And that's been filmed. Some videos were 3 months ago.
Right.
Some videos were a month ago. Some videos might be, I don't know, could be 5 months ago. It's a multitude of different time frames. Those videos, when those videos were filmed.
This is a different interview for me, I must tell you.
Is it?
It takes me back to.
I mean, I'm a little nervous because I perform on camera, but
it's so interesting how you can perform on camera, but you can't sit here and talk on camera.
Because it's different when you're talking in front of somebody. First of all, when you're on camera and you're performing sexually, people are looking at your penis. Mm-hmm. They're looking at your face.
Right.
And that's it.
Right.
When you're talking to someone in an interview, especially video recorded. Or audio, right. They're listening to your voice. Yeah. I don't know if I have a sexy voice or not. And then I've never been told.
And believe it or not, there are going to be people listening and watching who don't know who you are. Kept secret. They don't know that.
And my friends said you should do more interviews, but I don't. I get nervous very easily.
Right, because I had to almost twist your arm to get you to come over here today. Nervous. But the reason why I decided to record this video, so there is video recording of this conversation. If you want to see this video, it's actually going to be on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Craig the Writer Stewart. Patreon is spelled Patreon. So it's patreon.com/Craig the Writer Stewart. You can get to my Patreon from my website as well, which is CraigTheWriterStewart.com. It's up there with the social media tabs, the Facebook and YouTube. So is there anything else that you want to say? Because your phone is going off. This guy has called probably 6 times.
My friend. He irritates me. I irritate him. We've known each other since high school.
Is that the one that
No,
okay.
that's not the one.
I think we said quite a bit, though. I think we've given them quite a bit to think about.
I'm not used to interviews. This is my first ever interview.
Right.
So,
really?
Ever in life.
Oh, that's dope.
So I don't know how necessarily they go.
All right. Well, I'm definitely gonna hope. I hope that you will share this interview.
I will.
I'm gonna because it's gonna be available on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud and Spotify, and YouTube, all those places. Okay.
Because my Twitter have 60,000 people following.
Really?
Look, they ain't buying nothing, but
they're there.
I'm sure
they're there. Okay, well, I will definitely make sure that I get all of the pertinent information to you.
Okay.
Listen, if this is your first time listening to this podcast, please hit subscribe or follow. We're available for free. The places that I just mentioned: Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, wherever you can listen to a podcast. Be sure to visit my website, CraigTheWriterStewart.com, for any updates, book signings. I'll be in New York, April 21st, doing a signing. Also in Memphis, April 28th. And then Charlotte, North Carolina, Mother's Day weekend. Actually, Mother's Day. So just visit my website, CraigTheWriterStewart.com, for all of those details. Thank you for listening. Be safe. Keep loving yourself.